A huge misconception is that on a long motorcycle trip, you need a big adventure bike like a BMW G1200 or a KTM 1290. That you need a huge engine, a huge petrol tank, and the bigger the luggage capacity, the better. But this is far from the truth. I'm gonna run you guys through the 5 benefits of trading your fat, powerful bike in for a small one on your next long adventure. The first consideration would be the price of buying a motorcycle. Obviously, to travel the world you would need a motorcycle, so you'd be weighing up the options. For a bigger adventure bike such as a BMW 1200 GS or similar, you would be spending well in excess of $20,000, and that's just for the bike. Factor in the costs of riding gear, modifications on the bike and luggage, you'll be paying close to $25,000. Then, because you'll have a premium bike, the cost of tyres, maintenance and insurance will be much more than a smaller bike, up to 30 to 40% more. But you might try and justify the cost of the bigger bike by saying, well, I'll be able to cruise easier on the highways and have more fun with the top speed. But realistically, you won't be planning a motorcycle adventure that consists of mostly highways and luxury hotels. It's the riding that we do on the road, less traveled, that the pleasure comes from. Plus, unless you want to break the speed limit, you won't be going faster than 110 kilometers anyway. A 250cc motorcycle can easily keep up this speed. The biggest benefit of riding a small motorcycle on a long adventure trip is that you'll have a lighter bike. Weight really matters. When you're getting pumped on some sketchy terrain that consists of mud, sand, gravel and even snow, the weight really matters, because it's inevitable that you'll get stuck or drop your bike and will have to pick it up. Plus, a lighter bike is much more maneuverable, manageable, and will cause you less fatigue when riding off-road. The third consideration is the speed that you'll travel on a long ride. When you're traveling thousands of kilometers across multiple days or weeks, it doesn't matter how fast your bike can go. The faster you ride, the more you increase the risks of crashing and also getting fatigued, as well as not enjoying your trip. When my brother and I rode 2,000 kilometers across Nepal, I was rushing him and trying to cover distance quicker. This resulted in us not only feeling stressed with the hectic traffic conditions, but also ended with my brother being involved in a crash. The pleasure of long trips comes from riding slowly and taking in your surrounding environment and scenery, or in the other case, tearing up some dirt trails. And on a big bike, this is much harder. I've seen people riding bigger bikes and being afraid when they take it off-road. They'll duck walk and keep putting their feet down. Not only is this embarrassing, but it drastically slows them down. On a motorcycle trip with a big bike, you'll be tempted to pack a lot of unnecessary luggage. You'll take all sorts of food, luxury camping items, clothes, laptops, and cameras. The more weight you pack on, the harder the bike becomes to handle and also contributes to rider fatigue. On a small bike, you'll only pack the necessities, keeping it lightweight and easy to handle. The last point. Having a small bike increases the safety aspect of your ride. With a lightweight bike, it's much easier to ride through traffic, make maneuvers, easier to handle it on and off road. It's way easier to pick it up if you drop it, easier to traverse across tricky terrain, rivers, and even ride up hills. On my trips to the Himalayas, I used a lightweight Royal Enfield Himalayan 400cc adventure bike, which only weighs about 180 kilograms. I dropped it a lot of times, and it wasn't hard to pick up. Also, the lightweight maneuverability ensured that I was able to correct mistakes that could have been fatal, like when the bike slipped in front of a truck, or when it kept slipping on a snow-covered mountain. Also, with a smaller, cheaper bike, you don't attract attention that you have money, and then are less likely to get robbed. I remember riding through a poor area in India, and every time I would stop, my bike would be surrounded by people asking questions about it. and they definitely did not have good intentions. So to summarize this, in the end, instead of wasting so much money on a big, expensive bike, spend a little bit of money on a cheap, smaller bike and then use the rest of that money to travel around the world. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and make sure you subscribe because I'll be dropping some awesome future content.